guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is all about pursuing medical coding career after 40. If you're brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue, I'm a medical coder. Okay guys, so I got this message from Instagram, from a viewer. I'm going to read the message and then we're going to get into it. So, here we go. Alright, so the viewer says, "Hi Blue, I was searching on YouTube and I found you. I like that you are so honest and straightforward. I want to ask your advice. I'm 43 years old. I started medical billing coding school in 2021, got my certificate and landed my first job September 23rd as a biller, IP, central billing for mental health. I'm almost a year, but I don't like that much, honestly. I don't feel challenged or this will help rewarding career as no advance in my current company. All people are just billers. I love coding because it makes me think and try to figure out things even if it's hard. Sadly, school didn't teach us much and they didn't care. I'm thinking now to get a CPCA certification, but I'm still worried. First, will cost a lot of money. Second, I don't have experience and I changed several jobs in last 10 years and I'm also over 40. And I notice it's more hard to get hired. I know I won't get paid well, but I'm looking for experience first. My goal after 2 years to get more certifications and work remote and get higher pay. I'm in California." Okay, so first things first, guys. There is no excuse for poor grammar. None. Now, before you say, "Well, Blue, that's just so nitpicky." The whole thing was a run-on sentence. The whole thing. The only thing that was right was that they spelled my name correctly and they had a capital letter on my name, which is great. Because there are so many people that are not doing that. And again, it's not nitpicky. It's showing the difference between somebody who's educated and somebody who just doesn't care. Now, the person may care and they may just be thinking, well, it doesn't matter. It does matter. Everybody looks at everything that you do. And for me personally, if I'm going to hire a medical coder, I'm going to expect that medical coder to know how to properly put together an email. Even if it's just a conversation between somebody that you see on YouTube and you're just sending a message. There's no excuse for improper writing and bad grammar. Just no excuse for it at all. That's first of all. Second of all, I don't know why people think that as soon as you hit age 40, that all of a sudden everything is over. You can't get into a new career. And people start having those self-doubt. "Blue, I'm 42. Blue, I'm 43. I'm 51. I'm 55. Can I do this? I'm 58. There's a lady on the channel, couple already, that have told me, "I'm 58. I got my first job because I watch your channel, because I followed your advice, and I'm working in the career." They're not the only ones. I've had some in their 60s as well tell me because they followed my advice. They weren't really sure themselves, but they went with what I had to say and they did everything that I told them to do. And sure enough, now they're working. So the only one who gets in people's way is themselves. So let's just stop getting in our own way. This is the second email like in the same week that I've gotten from somebody who already knows. Okay, let's break that down here in a minute. But before I get to that, your life doesn't stop after you hit a certain age. So quit acting like it. Okay, number one. Number two, the only one who's going to be able to get you motivated to do something that you want to do, clearly, because you say you love coding, which I have my own opinions on that anyway, but we'll get into that in here in a minute. But if you really love something, then you're going to make an effort to do that thing. You're going to make an effort to say, okay, well, this is not what I want to do. So let me go ahead and get where I want to go. Why would you stay in a job that you don't like or it's not challenging enough for you? Trust me, there's a lot of things that you need to be studying on just based on me reading this email. There's a lot of things that you need to be studying on. You don't need to be worried about all these other things. You need to be worried about fixing a few things before you get moving forward. But with that said, if you are saying, oh, it didn't challenge me enough, and I got my certificate, you got a certificate for completing a program, doesn't sound like you got a certification. And if you were so into coding back then in 2021, you would have got your certification back then, because that would have been something that you wanted to pursue anyway. There's really no excuse for not pursuing it. And oh, I think I need to get my CPCA. So all the time that you've had in there from 2021 till current that you've been doing billing, that doesn't count to you? You don't think you learned anything from that? What about the electronic health record you're working with? What about all the billing companies that not billing companies, but the insurance companies that you've been working with? I know when you're getting denials and you see that certain procedures and certain diagnosis codes and having to fix things, because I know billers sometimes will fix the codes or add the modifiers or whatever the case may be if they're not working with coders. Like, why you don't count that as experience? You don't count that as already knowing something? You can't fix your resume to say what you've already learned and all the practice time that you could have had, but you didn't do that. No, you want to sit here and get into my DMs and ask me this question that makes absolutely no sense. Because again, if you want to do something and you're over a certain age, you can do it. I have people that are into their 60s that are pursuing this, fully well knowing that they are in their 60s, but they're not going to let it stop them. They're going to continue to work. The age of retirement has been pushed up. So, it's not like people are not going to have time to have a full career either, right? And especially if you are working towards learning and doing what you got to do to get yourself going into coding again. But the thing is, it's going to cost a lot of money to go to school. So again, you said that you watched my videos. And how many times do I have to say there's an independent study, there's an independent study, there's an independent study, with all the books, with all of the syllabus and everything? And you can't do that? Oh, but you want to go to a school. Okay, so you want to spend a few $1,000s. That's still going to have you have to do independent study anyway. But you want to go ahead and spend that because that means you're going to a school. Again, I have to repeat myself. You do not have to go through a formal program in order to sit for the CCS, the CCA, the CCSP, or the CPC. You do not have to go through a formal program to sit for the CCS, CCA, CCSP, or the CPC, the 4 main medical coding certifications that employers ask for. You do not have to go through a formal program. You can independently study on your own and then be able to pass. All the workbooks that I recommend in the description box, all the other supplemental guides about E&M and everything else are all in the description box. So you're not paying attention to that. You say that you want to get more credentials so that you can make more money. Okay, first of all, having more credentials doesn't mean a hill of beans if you don't have experience to back it up. That's number one. Number two, if those credentials are overlapping something that you've already had, like say for instance you get the specialty credentials, you're going to go with the CPC, and you want to get CPMA, CPB, and all these other ones, right? And all the specialty coding ones for all the different ones for the ER, for OBGYN, ortho, and all them. You've already been tested on reimbursement and all the specialties with the CPC exam. So you want to spend more money to get these specialty certifications that a lot of employers don't ask for. Now, some will, but it really all depends. And again, sometimes they do this because they think if we have people who are more educated, we'll get more accurate work out of them. That's not always the case either, because I've seen plenty of people, brand new people with CPCAs running around with a CPMA. What do you know about auditing? What do you know about auditing? What do you know about the industry enough to say, yes, I have this skill, I have this certification? Oh, and then by the way, you have to have special CEUs in order to make sure that you can maintain that certification. And these certain CEUs come from certain vendors. And those vendors can charge whatever it is that they want to charge. And it's not just for the CPMA. There's other ones with AAPC that they have to have certain vendor CEUs. So again, not listening to a word I've said in any of my videos, which is another reason why I'm not responding, because again, if they have listened, they would have known all the answers to those questions. And not only that, known what I think about adding on credentials. Oh, I want to wait 2 years and then add on credentials so that I can work remotely. You already have experience as a biller, so I have no problem with those people that have experience already, but they're not even looking at it like they have experience. Oh, it's not coding. No, but you've been exposed to the codes and you've been exposed to the system. You know how the whole thing works. This is not something that's new for you. And especially if you are changing and updating codes, that counts. So it's not like it doesn't count. But again, if you can't even see your own skill, what makes you think that I can see it or anybody else can see it? Okay, but let's circle back to, being in the school, right? You want to sign up for this program that's a few $1,000s. I don't know which one she's going to go through. She didn't even say. But you sign for a program that's $5,000. You spend all this $5,000. You're expecting somebody to teach you. Now, it's going to be hit and miss, because there are some good instructors out there, but there's a lot of instructors that are not. And the reason that I say that they're not is because they're either restricted by the school that they got to teach from a book, or those who can't teach, right? So they say, well, I couldn't do production coding, but I have a degree and I have my certification. Let me just teach it. And they don't really teach the people how to critically think, because maybe they weren't in the field very long, or maybe they weren't in the field at all, which happens a lot, because they say, well, I can't get a job, but their resume looks like crap. Yes, I'm going to be very direct about it, because I see a lot of people who want to play that victim card and be like, oh, well, no one wants to hire me because I'm brand new and I don't have experience. No one wants to hire you because you put out a crap resume that doesn't have your skills listed. And don't get mad. Do not get mad. I know some of you people are getting mad right now. Do not get mad at this. The reason is you're not listing your skills properly. You're not saying that what you were trained in. Because that's what skills are. What were you trained in? Not what do you have experience in? Because I'll hear that too. People want to sit here and argue with me. Oh, Blue, you say to put ICD-10-CM and CPT and HCPCS, but I don't have experience in that. I can't put that on my skills list. So you expect somebody to, that means that what you're saying is this. What you're saying is that you went in and took this test. You don't know how to apply codes. You don't know anything about sequencing. You don't know the guidelines. You don't know even how to use those books, right? That's what you're saying? Well, no, I know how to do that. Then that's your skill. That is your skill. This person that wrote this email would have that on their skill if they were listening, if they were following advice. But again, can't follow advice, right? Oh, what do I do? What do I do? Pay attention. Pay attention. That's what you have to do, guys. Pay attention. This field is very serious. And I can't believe people are so cavalier about it that they just think, oh yeah, well, I just can go to the school and they can teach me. No, a lot of times, even sometimes the instructor is wrong and they won't teach you properly. I've had messages from people who say, Blue, my instructor is using an old book and they have all of their notes in this old book and I have the new books and they marked me wrong because the code is in their book, but it's not in my book because the code has been updated. And that's an instructor? Are you serious? I've had people tell me that their instructors are not even certified. They don't have a degree, they don't have a certification, but they know how to code because they've coded for a doctor's office. So they're just teaching from the book. Come on, people. What are we doing? All this self-doubt, what are we doing? No one has time for self-doubt. If you are truly listening and you're truly on your path to what you need to do, You're not going to let the silly fact of, oh, it's my age, it's my age. This person is 43 years old. 43. You could still have another 20, 30 years if you wanted to of work time being a coder. But you want to sit here and question, I'm 43, am I too old? Am I too old? So all those people that are on my channel in their late 50s who are in this, got their first job, they're working, they're thriving, they're doing real well. So what about their experience? Because they didn't see that their age is an obstacle. Their age is not an obstacle, just like the age is not an obstacle for you. The only thing that's an obstacle for people is themselves. Their lack of confidence in their abilities to be able to do the coding. All right? It's just all about, well, how do I learn? How do I learn? Then don't even have the nerve to even pick up the book and start working with it. I don't know how to use the book. Did you even open the book? No, but they got all these silly tabs on it that you don't even need. And please spare me. Oh, that's how I learned. Please spare me. You don't need those tabs. Tabs will get in your way. They'll tear your books. People run around with ratty books for no reason. The coding manuals are reference books. That's exactly what they are. They are reference books. And they should be treated respectfully. They should be used as reference books, not as workbooks. That's why you got workbooks. That's why you got notepads to be able to write stuff down on. And then, oh, well, how do I write all my notes in my books? Do you think you're going to have time during the exam to be reading your notes? No. 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 And if you're taking an AHEMA exam, they can keep you from going into the exam room at Pearson VUE with those books if they have too much writing on them. Don't argue with me. It's on the AHEMA website. If they deem that you have too much writing, they can prevent you at Pearson VUE from going into that exam room with that book with all that writing on it. I'm just saying. It's out there. It's on the website. So, and here we go back again to the whole conversation about, well, I know I'm not going to get paid that much. Y'all are acting like coders don't get paid. And we do. Now, again, if you have no self-confidence in yourself and all this self-doubt and, oh, I've had 10 jobs in the last, several jobs in the last 10 years. Clearly, you're not afraid to work. So that's a good thing. But if your jobs are like really short time jobs, maybe you did some temp work here or there, that's not necessary to have to include all of that. On your resume, it just needs to be what is the most relevant in the last 10 to 15 years. So again, if you only work for 3 months hanging up clothes, I'm not going to put that on your resume. I'm not going to say that that's part of what you know what I mean? Because that's something that's not really talking to your experience. They need you to get to the experience right away. Now, if you go back and if they say, well, we need to know all of the places that you've ever worked in the last 20 years, then you can write down that whole list. But they're not going to do that. They're going to look at what do you have for them that is relevant to what is going to be needed for this position. Okay? So that's something that you don't have to worry about. But again, going back to saying, oh, well, I know I'm not going to make that much money. So you already know then? You already know you're not going to make that much money as a coder? Then why are you pursuing it? Why are you wasting my time and my direct messages with this crap? Why? I'm asking a question. I'm asking a legitimate question. Why are you wasting my time then? Because you already know you got it all figured out. And that's the thing, guys. You do not have it figured out. Again, I tell y'all again, I repeat again, my pay in the first year changed 3 times. I had my first job at the Cancer Therapy Research Center. I had my second job that paid more, way more than my first job. And I thought my first job was great pay. Then when I bumped up, I was like, oh, okay. And then when I got here to my forever home, in the same year, I had this many jobs in the same year. And my pay bumped up again. because I'm not worried about it, because I showed that I was grateful for what I was getting. And when you go into an industry and you're grateful for what you have, the opportunities that you're able to get and everything else, that will, everything in the universe will align. Trust me. If y'all start showing that you're more grateful and you stop putting out your thoughts, I know I'm not going to get paid that much. I know. Then what are you asking me for? If you know, what are you asking me for? You don't know it much of anything right now. You're still learning. So you need to be able to do your research. Now, like I said before, when it comes to working remotely, the East Coast and the West Coast both have a space issue. So that's understandable. A lot of people, it's not unusual for people, on the East Coast or West Coast to be working remotely because there's space is at a premium there. Okay. However, for this person and for most people that are brand new with the coding side, I would always recommend being at a place where you have some contact. These many questions, not paying attention, you need to be able to be in person so that way you can get to being around people that can help you to be successful in getting started in coding. Because you're running around not paying attention when people are already telling you. So maybe being in person may help. Okay, I'm just saying. So with that said, again, we need to take back our power when this person said, oh, sadly, the school didn't teach us and they didn't care. They have your money. That's why they don't care. There are some schools that do care because you will have very caring instructors that will know. And I guess I have to tell y'all the story again about the instructor at my school. So when I went to medical coding school, the school is no longer there. So don't even ask me what the school name is. Okay, the school's no longer there. It was just a school that taught not just coding, but they taught a lot of other professions where you can get a certificate, right? And so they said, well, you're going to be self-paced. They sat me in front of a computer and they said, okay, you're going to learn your different modules. Here's all your modules that you're going to be learning. And every time you go through a new module, we're going to give you your new set of books. Well, I'm a book lover, clearly. And so because of that, I said, okay, well, I'm motivated by books. I want my new books and I can't wait to get to the coding books because this is going to be really neat. So I worked and I went through those modules really quickly because that's just how I was. I was very ravenous when it came to learning, and I still am. But when it came to learning that, because I was so fascinated about everything that I was learning that was new. So they said, well, we do have, he's not an instructor, but he does give us lectures. So because it's not like a class with an instructor, he comes in like every other week and he does seminars and things like that. He'll answer all your questions. This guy, to this day, I cannot stand him. Ugh, asshole. Ugh. This guy was so disgusting that I couldn't even stand to be in the same room with him because that's how he creeped me out so bad. So I never listened to any of his lectures. He would come and find me when I was in my class or right there at the computer, because that was how you got signed in and that's how you showed that you were still working through the program, was you had to go into the school and you had to sign into the computer and you had to work through the computer and you got to do a couple of hours at least, or at least an hour, so that way you could show that you're putting in the school time. So he would come over and find me and he'd be like, oh, so how you doing on your schoolwork? Oh, good. Just really trying to concentrate. Well, where are you now? And I'm just like, dude. And this guy, again, very just, ugh, so because of that, I never went to any of his classes. He was just very creepy and gross, and I just never wanted anything to do with him. Okay, so for that, no. But do I blame the school? No, they didn't. It's not like they know, or they were like, oh, we can't hire this guy because he's creepy. It may have just been that he was creepy with me, because I mean, like I said, we were there of all ages and stages, and I was in my 20s, okay? And everybody else was way older than me. So that was fine because it's a new learning thing. But, you know, he just spent all his time over there, tried to spend all his time with me. Oh, no, no, sir. No, thank you. No, thank you. You know, so again, because he gave me that creepy vibe. But who is in control of learning? Me. It's the same thing like you're in control of learning. Oh, well, they didn't want to teach us. Then you can't read, you can't learn from a book? Because yes, you can. And that's exactly what this is learning and being able to do your research and paying attention to the materials that are in front of you or the videos that you're watching. Because if you're not paying attention to the videos that you're watching, really, you can't pick up these books and start working through them. And if you got done with the school back in 2021, you can pick it back up again. Okay, that's all I'm going to say on this one. But really, guys, stop with the self-doubt. If this is something that you want to do and you supposedly love it so much, you're passionate about it so much, then you will find a way to do that. You will get all that negativity out of your head. Oh, well, I'm over 40. I don't know if I can do this. Yeah, you can. Now, keep in mind, your supervisor may be a little bit older than you, or maybe right at your age, or maybe, you know, younger than you. That's the only thing that you got to be able to contend with. If you can't take direction from somebody, you know, if it's in a leadership position, then you have other issues to worry about. But clearly, again, you say you work several jobs in 10 years. You're clearly not scared of work. You're clearly able to work. So that's not going to be an issue. Quit thinking that medical coding doesn't pay, because again, if that's what you're putting out there in the universe, that's what you're going to start manifesting. Okay, so if this is something that you really want to do, then you need to start thinking about it positively. And don't start assuming things that you know nothing about. Okay, I'm going to leave that right there, because again, the assumptions, just the audacity of these assumptions lately, it's just really getting under my skin, because it's just like, where do y'all get this stuff? I mean, honestly, where do y'all get this? And then the desire to want to get more than one certification. Baby, you haven't even gotten your certification yet for medical coding. What makes you think that you need to be out there worried about getting all these other certifications? I'm just saying. So with that said, I'm gonna wrap this one up before I get on a roll. But guys, I mean, that's just all I'm saying. We need to quit playing games. We need to get with this studying, because the codes are not going to learn themselves. Codes are not going to learn themselves. That's where you come in. That's where you got to make the time. You got to get in there. If you don't understand something, you find yourself a mentor who can help you for free. Get on LinkedIn. Say, is anybody available for mentoring? Because I really do need help. Mentors will help you for free, like I said. But if you really need somebody to be with you hands-on, one-on-one, then you go and you pay for a tutor. Now, please do not ask me for tutoring, because like I said, my schedule is booked all the way to the end of August. The soonest available that I will have is in September. No, I do not hold spots. You have to pay for the session, because again, my time and my bookings get filled up. And right now I got a bunch of people still emailing me and asking me how soon can they get on my calendar. I will open up the calendar for bookings for September in August, which is just a few days away. And that's when we start setting up the new schedule again. But other than that, guys, you can go on LinkedIn and trust me, somebody will help you out. I'm just saying. With that said, now I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all again. Bye.